My Gavan and Melonine, and well met indeed. I'm Arakir Galadirthan, head of the modding team behind Divide and Conquer, and welcome back to the same as we continue on as Dol Amroth, as Dol Amroth's campaign rapidly comes to a close because Endwythe is really making tracks now in the work being done to them, and they will soon lift off. But for now, let's draw our attention back to the finest nation on Earth, Dol Amroth. Lord Imrahil, Conqueror of Umbar, is heading up here to finally kick Mordor out of Rohan and give Rohan back its last province, so that then Rohan can grow strong again and to stop the invasion of Isengard, who currently hold this region here, the Westfold. Back in Gondor, we gave Gondor enough strength to be able to push onto Osgiliath, but unfortunately, Caer Andros swiftly fell after we gave it back to Gondor, so we're going to have to go back and save that again, annoyingly. Otherwise, our army's just sort of pushing up. You can see it here. Prince Adrihil the Conqueror. Moving on is Ost Ithil, which will give Mordor even more to think about. Essentially, Mordor's days are numbered. But we're hoping for the campaign to last long enough to be able to get our elite units out of Dol Amroth and Etheland, where we can get the White Knights and the Knights of the Silver Swan. We've got more than enough money, and we make plenty of money now. So thank you all for your economic tips, but I'm just not going to play any differently, I'm afraid. I have a really lackadaisical approach to playing this game, and I'm afraid if you're new and you're only really just discovering that, then it may be a turn-off. But I do not min-max at all. I'm here just to chill out in Middle-earth and kick some bad guys' booty. And I'm not too bothered about doing that to the best of my abilities. We need something here, though, because they don't like us. So, ideally, culture's the best thing. So, we'll turn our attention to that. But otherwise, I think we are at an end turn. So, let's just knock that on the head and go ahead and do it. Many of you will now, of course, have seen the developer diary and seen that not only does Dol Amroth have a new custom battle map, but so does Umbar. So, that will be in version 5 as well. Middle-earth Total War. And you've also now seen many of the changes to Endwythe that have gone in. And since the developer diary, the changes to the extension of the Fiefdom way station building has also been completed. And what I mean by that is that we are putting a building into the game for every single faction in the game. The building can only be built in castles, but it allows you to retrain any restricted unit. There are a few exceptions to that any restricted unit. So units that are trained in a terrain feature, so grassland, forest, mountains, or barren, not coastal. Coastal units will be retrained. But any unit that's trained in one of those 4 terrain features, they won't be in the building, because those features are so common that you can retrain them essentially everywhere. So you don't need a specific building to do that. And also because then it's impossible to... The building has a few quirks and problems in that by allowing it to retrain your AOR units, it will, if it is built in the same region that unit comes from, it will have the effect of just rapidly speeding up the replenishment of that unit, which we do not want. And that's one of the core reasons why any unit that comes from a terrain feature does not factor in there, because we can't actively restrict the retraining to just those regions. But no, I mean, we can do, but the primary reason is because they're so common we don't need to. But I'll talk more obviously about things like that, go into more detail about the building in the next developer diary, whenever that is. But just for your own purposes, just so you all know, because it's something that's asked for an awful lot, is that we are putting in a building that lets you retrain your restricted units. It is one of the most commonly requested features of the mod, to be completely honest, is can you please let me retrain my restricted units. Now, way back when the mod began, almost nobody asked for this building to exist. It was absolutely unheard of. And then, with the release of the later Total War games, particularly kicking off, of course, with Rome Total War 2, and the fact that it lets you train units basically anywhere and retrain them for free all the time, that brought retraining to the forefront of everyone's minds. And so people coming to Divide and Conquer, Middle-earth Total War, people coming to it from Warhammer, which is a lot of people, because of course they're both fantasy and they're both Total War. And Warhammer, I think, is possibly now Creative Assembly's most popular Total War game. But people also coming to it from Rome, they're used to a system whereby retraining is not a thing. Your units just simply retrain by not being in battle. And so coming back to a game where you not only have to actually only take the time to retrain your units, but certain units have to traipse half the world away just to be retrained. That, of course, has broken that's the straw that's broken the camel's back for quite a few people. And so I can absolutely understand why this change has been requested so frequently and with such dedication. And so we finally relented and we have put a building in. So you can retrain. But it is only castles. You've still got to take your units to a castle. But you will be able to retrain. So you can all sleep easily in your beds for when Middle-earth Total War it's got Divide and Conquer version 5 releases. You can all rest assured you've got many more features that you wanted out of the mod. The reason I keep saying Middle-earth Total War is because that is, of course, the campaign I am on to rename Divide and Conquer, because we no longer whilst we are a submod of Third Age Total War. Oh, Gondor took Caer Andros back. Oh, fantastic work, Gondor. Well done. Well done indeed. Can we build something else as well? We've got more money. Let's keep just chucking farms in. Money, once you've got money, it just then becomes an absolute doddle to make it. You can just queue up buildings for days and it just does not matter because they'll all build. It's a dream. Yeah, so I want to rename the mod to Middle-earth Total War. Oh, look, Rohan calling us into battle. Captain Garbold. Rohirrim units. He's going up against Ishlik the Fearless, who only has 21 soldiers. Why is everything taking so long to click? That's really annoying. Yeah, you can just auto-resolve that. We didn't lose anyone, and he won. Of course he did. Yeah, I'd really like to rename the mod to Middle-earth Total War. This is something I'm going to be hammering away at until version 5 releases. If I get my way, it won't be called version 5. It will just be called Middle-earth Total War, because you never call it version 1, do you? That's just the release, and then the next one would be version 2 in modding nomenclature. But we don't rely on Third Age Total War anymore. They are now part of our release. Divide and Conquer as a standalone name. Yes, there's obviously lots of people that know our name, and there's that brand recognition. But also, there are loads of people now who will be coming to the older versions of the game, looking for maybe a Lord of the Rings version of Total War games. And they'll be coming back and thinking, that's called Divide and Conquer. What on earth does that do? And no one in their right mind who glances at our mod will appreciate that it is a Lord of the Rings mod, because we don't have anything in our name that says we are. And I just think that is... we should definitely take this opportunity to rebrand, to my mind. I mean, obviously I'm not tyrannical or dictatorial. I'm not just going to put my foot down and say we are changing our name. But there's been a little bit more pushback than I expected, if I am honest, because now we're a standalone mod. Why would we not try and get a Lord of the Rings name? Because, yes, our full name is Third Age Total War Divide and Conquer, but nobody calls us that. So, why? Why?
Yes, my lord.
You stay on, Edris. We're going to sell that province back to Rohan once it's done. And Ostithil, I'm happy to just sort of wait it out. Dol Amroth, did you build? Yes, you did. And the Prince's Stables. We need the Prince's Stables, and then we can get the Knight's Lodgings. No, we don't need the Prince's Stables. We only need a guard barracks. Oh, no, there it is underneath, of course. Sorry, I'm looking at it, and it's just not... We've already got the guard barracks. It's just the Prince's Stables that we need. But we're going to reduce the time it takes to get that by... or reduce the cost. That reduces the time by 20%. 20% of 7 is just shy of 2 turns. So it would actually probably be the same amount of turns if we just queued that building up now. But I don't think we can afford it. No, we can't. So we will go with the Masons. And the Theland is going for a similar theme, getting that building in. And then you need the barracks, and you will need the stables, won't you? Guard barracks and Prince's Stables. Yeah. Oh, we don't have either building. That's going to be a very long time, I'm afraid. I'm not sure we're going to get White Knights before this campaign wraps up. Right, the ship here is because all of these troops are going to get sent to the front lines. So what I think we'll do is we'll take the entire army here and leave those 2 seaward as a bodyguard. And then we've got a backup army there. And we can merge it into that and swap out some of the worst units. So Admiral Phylion, you're going to be heading up here and departing on that port. Perfect. So work towards Enedwaith is absolutely rattling along at a cracking pace, and I would expect Enedwaith's campaign to kick off sometime around Christmas. So you've probably only got a few more videos of Dol Amroth, I'm afraid. Maybe if we get to a point where there's a nice finishing point, for example, if we've broken through the Ash Mountains and we're knocking on the doors of Mordor proper, then we... Shadow, Mountains of Shadow. The Ash Mountains are the ones on the northern side. What I mean to say is, if we've taken Minas Morgul and Cirith Ungol and all that remains is Baradir's toppling, then we'll push on and we'll take Baradir and end it there. But I'm very keen to play with the new Enedwaith. It is no secret that Enedwaith is one of my favourite nations, up there with Bree, Dorwinion, and of course Dol Amroth. I'm really looking forward to being able to play as the new Enedwaith, and work towards their completion is coming along well. Linhill got its port up, that's good. You can give me the leather tannics, that gives a bit of money. Land clearance over here. Let's just keep these places economic. Keep giving me money. That is way too many buildings. It's never going to build them all. But we'll chuck them all in anyway. What's the harm? You can give me a school and roads as well. Oh, and a port. Oh, no. We don't need a shipwright. We've already got a port. The shipwright does give more tradable goods, but I'm not sure that it's really worth the cost. If there's alternatives to go for, I would go for them. Yeah, I think that'll do. Right, with our troops out of the castle, obviously we're losing about 2,000 over the amount of money we were making before. Oh, I didn't send a diplomat, but that's alright. We don't have anyone else. We don't have 2 generals in here, do we? No. And you're training those units, that's fine. Right, how much longer have we got up here until it falls? 1 turn till Rockpoke falls, so if they're going to rise up, it's going to be now, but I doubt that they will. And 5 turns over there where Balaknar Sunfire resides within and waits to die, for that is all that can be done for him. Something else modding I was going to talk about. I can't remember what it is. It was right there on the tip of my tongue. Voice lines. Special Sunday, who has done a lot of the voice lines, Enedwaith, Anduin, and Dol Amroth. He has recently joined the beta team, actually, and is willing and happy to update the voice lines for Enedwaith as well. So Enedwaith's new roster will come with new voice lines, which is good. And Anduin's will likely be updated as well. So that's all very good news too. It's just all coming together very nicely. Right, finally a battle. Captain Girishak thinks that he's going to take down our cavalry army. Oh, Girishak, what a sad day this is going to be for you. Look at that, though. The auto-resolve thinks it's 1-to-1. We're probably going... It's just ridiculous. We're going to absolutely annihilate these fools. And yet, here we are with 1-to-1. Like, how can you be so out of touch, auto-resolve? What is your problem? There is, of course, Luthien standing before Melkor himself. One of the few people in Middle-earth to have ever done so, actually. Right, the enemy comes. We're already in a line. Sod it. I'm very tempted to go for the rush everyone in one massive go technique. But they don't have any archers, so we don't need to worry. We'll let them all come out of the gate so that they don't all mess up. Right, there we are. They are beelining for some reason for the Amrothian squires. So we'll run you over here. We'll run you over here. You guys turn and focus. And you guys pull back a bit. See what they do. Alright, there we are. They're breaking up quite nicely. So you're going to come around here. You're going to turn and hit them. You're going to charge into them. You're going to charge into them. You're going to charge into them. Oh, you go for that one. You go for that one. You go for that one. Imrahil, you go for that one. 2 of you into those maulers. No, curl you around the side. You go for the maulers. You go for them. You go for them. You join in on them. It's a clicking festival over here. How many have we killed? 32% have gone down. 45, 50, 50, 60... 60%. We've got routing almost everywhere. A few units are fighting on. Moran and Guard specifically, so let's pull out of that. That's a bad matchup. It's nice seeing the Rohan sprites just popping up every now and then. It's just so nice having an army of all the allies all together. Oh, and there goes the general. Break the spirit of his army. Moran and Guard charging into the back of those. They're broken and fighting to the death. We did lose 10% of our army, which is a shame. And primarily, I expect, from that little charge into our back by the Moran and Guard just then. And now we've got to go through the annoying shambles that is waiting for the enemy to all run away at the same time. That's them down. That was brutal, Imrahil. Imrahil, you're such a dream. In we go. Glory and riches. Did anyone actually survive that? 53. That is probably a little more than we would have wanted, and probably because I left too many in against the Morannon Guard. But this army is doing exactly what we wanted it to. It's broken the back of Mordor, crossed the Anduin River and freed the Isle of Caer Andros, given that back to Gondorian control, and then charged on further, deeper into the heart of our oldest ally, Rohan, punching Mordor as we go and kicking Mordor out of Rohan's eastern holds. The cavalry army has done exactly as we wanted it to do. We'll sack it, sod it, even though they're our allies and we're about to sell it to them. The Orcs have obviously held it for some time because it's upgraded to an Orc town, which is a shame. The other thing I was going to say is I spoke in the Anduin video, I believe, about wanting to do a Wood Elf campaign in Warhammer 3 when the Wood Elf DLC releases. And there were quite a few of you that said you'd like to see that. And so I think around Christmas time I may well look into doing that, because I get a week off at Christmas. The office is just shut for a week, which is a dream. It's 10 days actually, in truth. It's fantastic. And so I get 10 days off at Christmas, so I think that's a good opportunity to look into doing something like that. So I think I will do a Wood Elf campaign, to be honest, because I do like Warhammer 3, and I've never played as a Wood Elf, so I think it might be good fun. I destroy that building, but otherwise leave everything. We don't want to gut Rohan's hopes and dreams. Why can't we talk to Edras? Because it's under siege. Well, we can talk to the commander of Dunharrow. Right, let's do map information, I will give you Rochberg, which you'll be very pleased about. You're poor, but surely you can give me, let's call it 7,500. I'm feeling generous. Oh dear, you're really poor. Either that or they really don't want to give me their map information. So we'll take the map information off the table and we'll drop it to 5,500.
How could we refuse?
Yeah, I'm not overly concerned about the map info, and I'm also not overly concerned about getting the money. I'd rather you have the region. Oh, and you got 4 bodyguard units, peasant militia and peasant scout. Right, merge together what can be merged. Oh, look at that! What a dream! More Rohan units join the fold. We've got Aered Lancers now. That's fantastic. Should we punch on and start knocking Isengard in the teeth? Yeah, go on. Isengard do not know what the fury they have unleashed. Oh, can you go up into the forest? Go that way, and then we won't get into anyone's way. Men of Dol Amroth riding with the men of Rohan. What a wonderful thing. And look, we're now witnessing firsthand the mercenary system actually properly working. I am so pleased we finally got the mercenary system working. It is a game changer when you've got money like this. We've just supplemented our army with 3 new troops just from nowhere. That's fantastic. We're only 2 turns away with these guys, which is good because Mordor are throwing a lot at Osterthiel. They really want to hold it, don't they? Cand, I am hoping, are now going round Mordor's back, so fingers crossed for that. My plan with the Wood Elf campaign, much like the Eltharion campaign, would be to, instead of do it once a week or twice a week or whatever, with his 2 videos and then you won't see it again for 2 weeks, is instead to sort of bulk record, so essentially just play the game, in essence live streaming it, but not actually live streaming it, although that could potentially work over Christmas. But recording it in big batches and then releasing them all at the same time. That, I think, is a better way. Right, our hand has been forced. We aren't going to get the reinforcements, so they're going to arrive and bolster our troops, who are going to about to be depleted quite substantially. We're attacked by Azog, who's the large fellow just here, so he's going to be directly in front of us. And Azog comes with 52 Loki Nasrim. Right, that's going to be a bit of a challenge. We've got to watch out for them. And then it's an entire Uruk army, apart from 1 Morannon Guard and 1 archer. They don't have many ranged units, though, so it's not too bad. But if that army had a general, it would be a real threat. But as it is, it's not too bad. Nufshak has quite good forces, but they're all depleted. But there's trolls there. This is actually looking like an army that might do some damage to us. He's only got some halberds, so no worries. If we just pull directly behind us, there won't be anyone coming in from behind. And Balak Nar himself is the archer version, is he? No, he's Temple Wards. Oh, right, so Balak Nar's not really a threat because we've got cavalry options and ranged options. And he's only got morale and guard. So it is just the main army that's attacking us that's the threat. And we'll deal with those. We'll retreat backwards. We'll hold our ground. And pray that the trolls don't do a right number on our defences. Because if you let trolls run amok, then that's exactly what they'll do. Right, let's pull back. First thing, I think. Not a particularly good spot behind us, though. We could go on this hill here. Yeah, I think that's our best bet, isn't it? We've got that bit of a valley. We could pull further forward, but the main army's coming down the middle, and the main army is the threat. So, as far as we're concerned with the main army, this little hillock is ideal. So, archers, if you would, take the 4, and then we'll put the Black Root Veil behind you, because they're slightly better than you. And then, apologies if the music is louder. I know that this song specifically is usually an awful lot louder than all of the other music in the mod. This, of course, is called Chasing the Traitor, and is a song by Vindsvept on YouTube. Thoroughly recommend Vindsvept and Adrian von Ziegler if you are into fantasy-themed classical music. I mean, I say classical music, but it's not really, is it? But just music without words. I'm personally very into classical music. I listen to it almost every single day. I have it on in the background while I'm working, very, very quietly, because there's nothing worse than working in absolute silence and just having to come to terms with the existential dread that is the rest of your life. So having some classical music on, I find, allows one to get through the monotony of the day. I mean, don't get me wrong, I actually do really enjoy what I do, which I'm blessed in that regard. But no matter how much you love work, it's still work at the end of the day, and so it's nice to have a little bit of a distraction. Although I say that, actually, I'm one of those rare peoples, apparently. I thought we were quite common. I'm one of those people where, with music on in the background, quite quietly, it doesn't distract me at all, in fact. I can hear it and I acknowledge that it's there, but it doesn't take me out of what I'm doing. Whereas I know quite a few people who can't have anything on in the background because it totally takes their focus away from what they're doing. But I've never had that. I can quite happily have music on in the background and still crack on with what I'm doing. Anyway, this is the setting, the setup I've gone for. We're just going to have to defend. Here come... Oh, bugger, hold on. Since when was Olagai involved? Did I not check one of the teams? I didn't check one of the teams. Where are the other trolls? Not coming in up here. Oh, what is that unit? Oh, that's Balak Nar himself. Right, so he's coming in miles away. And then that one must be the trolls. Yes, there they are. Right, archers, if you could, those trolls need to die, and they need to die quick. But with the presence of trolls, we need the javelin troops to get as close to the front line as possible. Right, get ready, get ready, get ready. Give them hell. Why are you doing arcing shots? They're so easy to shoot at. They're right in front of you. Oh, bugger. I think we're going to lose this. I didn't realise there were trolls. I mean, we knew there were trolls, but we didn't realise there were Olakai. And they're up against our guardsmen. They're just going to shred those guardsmen. Bugger. Coastal Wardens. Where's Adrian? He's away on the left. Right, you are not needed to be that far left. Neither are you. And neither are you. Curl around. You guys come forward. More trolls coming down the hill. No, I think we're going to get smashed here, actually. I think we are going to die very, very easily. Remember, pikes don't get any advantage against trolls. And in fact, one of the worst units that you want to try and attack with pikes are trolls. Because not only do the trolls get no disadvantage against your pikes, but they are also large enough and have enough knockover effect that they totally smash your pike formations.
Defeat seems almost certain.
And it nullifies the benefit of having pikes completely. They're a terrible, terrible matchup. Right, we're going to have to do what we can. which is not much. We have got Istios, the defender of Dol Amroth, ploughing headlong into some black Uruks. There were 175 of them. Istios has hit them, and they're down to 116. Oh, Istios. Istios. You are a dream. You are every man's favourite child, whether he's your father or not. Oh, the Ologai, bizarrely, have pulled out. Don't know what their game is. What's your game, sunshine? Right, you charge into those Uruks. You go into those, and you, if you can, I want you to hit these units. No, I'm not sure you're going to be able to. Actually, you come over here. No, we'll use Adrian to do that. You're going over there. We're going over there! Right, you've charged into them. Oh, the Loke Innisrim, though, have gotten bogged down with the Haven Guard and the Sellswords, who are both similar in stats, actually. If memory serves, 14 attack, 18 defense. 15 attack, 23 defense. Yeah, very similar. So the Haven Guard have gotten bogged down. The Loke Innisrim have been taken out of the game, basically. Although the enemy trolls have hit into our general and done a right number there. Oh, we've got routing. We have got routing.
The enemy are badly
Oh, yes, we've got fantastic routing. Yes. My earlier proclamations that this battle is over, I take back. There is a glimmer of hope on the end of this quite trying ordeal. We're sending in armor piercing against the trolls. Pikes, you can move up. Adrian, you can move up. The cavalry, capture as many as you can. How did you guys get on? Where are you guys? All the way over there. Pull out. We haven't even begun on the Temple wards, though. They're slowly making their way in. Balaknar is doing what he can to stay alive. You go for that random guard. Pull the squires out. Pull the squires out. Pull the squires out. Right, you 5 guys. I'll take a burger, please. I don't add anything to my burgers in 5 guys. Never have done. I like it plain, but with a slice of cheese. But that's it. I like most of my food plain, I'm afraid. I think fancy restaurants are wasted on me. Right, you hit those scouts. And there's Miranda Guard. You're going to take the Miranda Guard. So we've got Pikes and Harondor Mercs hitting the trolls. Let's get them round the back. You've hit those archers, but I mean, you've not really done anything, have you? How are we doing over here? Sauron's Will. Oh, we're out of javelins anyway. You guys can come out of defensive mode. Charge those in. You guys hit those Miranda Guard. Both go together, actually. Archers, have you got any more arrows left? Some of you have, yeah. Do you think you can pepper those Olokai for me? That would be wonderful if you could. Oh, just look how good they look. Hit the Olokai. They've been moving around doing sod all for most of this battle. We've got to capitalise on that. That Miranda Guard over there, though, is fighting on, despite Adrihil being the target they're up against. The enemy! Alright, Loki Nesrim, there are 9 of them left. Oh, there's Southron Lancers over there. No, you're never going to get them. Alright, go and make those Miranda Guard break. Run! No! Run!
Only half the enemy force
Oh, he made it out. He made it out. Right, the Miranda Guard have been shut down. Southron Lancers have made a very bad call in charging into the general there. We outnumber that group. We've got plenty of troops in that group. Those ones, though, are struggling against the halberds. Remember, the archers aren't too bad in melee if once they're all freed up. And in fact, they are going that way, aren't they? So run down the hill there for me, please. Oh, and remember that Blackroot Vale archers are actually quite good in melee. They're not to be underestimated. If you want to have a look at their stats as well. Melee attack of 7 and an defense of 9. If you consider our guardsmen have an attack of 5 and a defense of 14, then they're not terrible. And melee attack of 3, defense of 6, and again 9, 7. They're on par with many of the units here in melee. So they have really cool two-handed swords. I really like the archer and two-handed weapon combination. It's the go-to playstyle I use in almost any RPG is archer with a two-handed weapon. Right, Adrian is going to school Balaknar Sunfire. He is going to take him down.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
Archers keep firing, and archers, let's get you around the side. Where did that 4 go? Oh, you've pulled out. You're not really going to do much, to be honest. I think, in all honesty, you're probably going to die. But that's okay. Oh, Adrian, why have you pulled yourself forward? That is the worst thing you could have done. He himself is fighting, so let's get these troops to support. Let's get in there, guys. Oh, bugger, and the Ologai coming in on him. There are 12 Ologai still remaining. We've got to help. Charge! Cavalry charge! Oh, Captain Nufshak has gone down. Whichever one Nufshak was, he is dead. Nine and 3. So there were 2 sets of Inas Rim after all that.
We've lost half of our men.
The Ologai went down to 9 after being charged into by the cavalry. Adriel, come back. Pull out, 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 and then go back again. I just need you to each hit a single end and single troll. That's all I need. Where is Adriel now? I'm fearing for the life of the old man. He's very elderly. He really shouldn't be fighting in these battles. There he is. He's got blood dripping down his face. Whatever happens here, we must not let Imrahil know just yet if his father passes. We need his strength in the campaign against Isengard. It is damned close, though. Much relies on can we get these Ologai knocked off. Oh, there's only 4 left. Our cavalry's doing all right. The Temple Wards are trying to give us grief.
The enemy army flees the field.
Another enemy general's
Pursue and
done.
hunt them down.
Musluk, whoever that is. Let's get the pikes over there. Come out of everything and run. You're fighting there. You can all come back and hit Sauron's will. That's good. 3 Ologai. Right, Temple Wards. Now hit them. 18 of you. Get yourselves over there. Who's not fighting now? You're not fighting. Go for the Ologai. Go for the Ologai. Everyone else is engaged in one way or another. Sauron's will giving us a real trouble on that hill. And they're in a very good matchup. They're against archers on both sides, which is not ideal for us. And they're also against spearmen, who they also will make mincemeat of. The enemy is trying to cycle charge their cavalry as best they can. We're having trouble just because Loki and Asrim are so heavily armed. It is also very nice to see Mordor actually using its alliance script. And us having to actually fight units of... There were Runic and Haradrim units in today's army, which is really cool. I really like things like that. That's why this mercenary thing, having those Rohirric mercenaries in our Dol Amroth cavalry army, is just fantastic to me. I'm so happy about that. Oh god, please don't be what I think you might be. Oh no, thank goodness for that. Oh, Balaknar himself has just gone down in a charge. The spirit of the Nazgul blips up just like that, off into the unknown. I think we are going to take this, but can we kill the Gamprim? Very high quality unit model, the Gamprim. Can we kill them? Another enemy general has gone down, Captain Azog. You chase down those scouts up there. 2 Ologai remain. Lots of Talon Knights remain. Temple Wards, sorry. I saw Talon Knights and my brain read them together. But it's here. We've killed the... yes, the Sauron's will has finally gone down. The Gamprim are totally surrounded. So even though they're a pike unit, look at the little island they're forming. It's how pikes always end up defending themselves. And again, not a great matchup. Coastal Wardens and Amrothian Guardsmen and Archers again. We've only got 4 of those cavalrymen left. Istios is down to 3. I don't really want to use them. Although, if each of you can charge into those, get the cavalry round as well. Get you round over here. Get you round over here. Anybody who's not fighting, Adriel now needs you.
Our leader lies slain on the
No. It was his time. It was his time. If everyone could just briefly take a moment of
Men
silence.
have fought long and are becoming tired.
What a sad, sad day. The passing of a legend. And his last defiant act in service to the nation he loves. Ensuring that the Nazgul and the power of Mordor is kept in check in Ithilien of all places. He will be remembered well. Who is going to be chosen to impart the news to Imrahil that his father has died in the plains of Ithilien? Damn. I don't feel too bad though. Adriel has been the rock upon which this campaign has succeeded. And he will be remembered as Dol Amroth's finest prince. I do not think any other prince will have even come close to the honour and integrity that Adriel has shown, and the message he has sent the world quite clearly that this is Dol Amroth, and we stand shoulder to shoulder with our kin in Gondor, and we will not let the shadows spread far from the bounds of the mountains of Mordor. And Adriel will be remembered. Fantastic bloody victory. 243 Haven Guard. Oh, well done, Haven Guard. Haven Guard is such an underestimated unit. They're so good. 243 from them. Next slot, 215 Amrothian Squires. Well done. Cavalry proving that it's always useful having, even if it's the only one you've got. After the 215, we drop to 185. Third slot, Blackroot Vale Archers. Well done, says. It'd be so interesting if it broke it down into arrow kills and melee kills, because I'd really like to see how well they did in melee. But as I already mentioned, our army now sails up the Anduin, and Mordor thinks they've broken our army here, and so whilst we've claimed a victory, it's Pyrrhic at best, and we've done so with great loss. But little do they realise that with total naval autonomy, we sail up the river, bringing death and destruction to the fools. Kill every orc we find within those walls and start again. But with the army that has just come, I think we probably do have enough to actually roll on northward and finally start knocking on the very doors of Minas Morgul themselves. We shall wait and see. We got a shed load of money for that, though. Goodness gracious. First point of call, absolutely. Ostithil is renamed in Adrihil's honour to Adrihil. Well, Adrihil Castle's just a bit boring, isn't it? We'll call it Adrihil's Seat instead of Throne or instead of Glory or Tomb or anything like that. We're going to go with Adrihil's Seat. And we will try and build buildings here. We'll start with that one. Right, and then the fleet, the army comes. We'll keep them in the ships till the last, because we've got, as I say, we have got naval autonomy. There is no threat from coming from the rivers at all. Imrahil has been told, and he now sends, no longer is he Lord Imrahil, he now stands before us all as Prince Imrahil, Conqueror of Umbar. Can you believe that? He's the Conqueror of Umbar, and yet here he is dicking around on the southern edge of Fangorn Forest. If you'll pardon my French, sorry, I do get very excited when I start to swear. Using the black language. Imrahil, of course, already has Imrahil's Point named after his complete glory, but I think in honour of Adrihil as well, Umbar should be renamed to Adrihil's Haven. And forevermore it shall then bear the name of Dol Amroth's finest prince, instead of the tarnished name that Umbar holds. A name often softly spoken and whispered, for the deeds done by those of Umbar still ring in the memory of many of Dol Amroth. So renaming it in Adrihil's name is not only a testament to his deeds, but also a bit of an FU to Umbar, if you will. Which I think is rather fitting. You can build me roads, which are always welcome, to be honest. No matter where they are, they're always welcome. And you could probably go for a school after that. We're also making money because, of course, most of our army just died. And also, Umbar just got those mines, didn't it? And those mines in Umbar are insanely wealthy. Productive is a better word, sorry. Insanely productive. Right, with Adrihil's seat claimed, and we will hold it for ourselves. Let's get rid of that crap. The army comes through. But we are going to need more troops. It's a good army, but it's not the best army. And we can get more forces back up from Dol Amroth. It only takes about 3 or 4 turns to sail from Dol Amroth. So we can get some retraining or training done. Oh, no, you can get 2 good units as well. Brilliant. And then down here, how about yourselves? I'll take your pikes. Pikes are always welcome. Particularly Amrothian pikes. They're very nice indeed. Right, so yeah, I think the plan is we'll roll up here. I think Gondor is going to take that. Grishnak is not going to hold East Nosgiliath on his own, is he? And that is a sizable army from Dervarin. It's so big that the game has paused to show us how big it is, which is ridiculous. A lot of Gondor level infantry in there. Lasanic Axemen are one of the best units in the game. I love the way they look. There's still a little bit of trash though, a bit trash heavy. Gondor Militia still knocking around, 2 Militia Cav. But then remember, Gondor Militia Cav is basically the only cavalry that Gondor actually get, so it's not unsurprising to see that. But there are some good Gondor infantry and spears. They aren't armour upgraded though, so they will be the chainmail variant. But still, a solid army, and I definitely think East Nosgiliath will fall. They've taken Caer Andros, so Minas Morgul, the race is now on. Can we kick Gothmog out of Minas Morgul? And just before we do end, I assume Elfir is our heir. Yes, as it should be. Lord Elfir will remain the faction heir where he commands from Methrast at the moment. And that is where he shall stay. But before we do go, let's just have a look and see if Khand are doing what we want them to do, or if they've just essentially turned off. No, Khand are dealing with Rune, and they are really struggling in that regard. So Khand are a non-entity now. They've claimed the entirety of the deserts, which is fine. They can have all of this, and they're welcome to it. They need to be bolstered, and they need to be strong. Oh, look, they've upgraded Imlad Khan. That's what a Variag Large Town looks like. I love these little elements from DaC. All the nations having their own unique CSMs. It just brings so much more life to the map. I'm looking at Mordor's never really keeps garrisons. It normally always throws all its forces into troops. But Caer Andros did fall indeed. And it's the Witch King they've sent himself to reclaim it. Remember, the Witch King is still actually a real threat. He has Temple Knights. He's a very powerful general. One of the best in the game. So that's a threat. But Mordor's holdings have now been beaten all the way back. They really are up against it. But that's something I didn't realise. Anulond has fallen to Isengard. And Kirithior's fallen as well. Gondor are going to have to start pulling troops back. So we really need to hit Mordor and shut them down, or Isengard are going to do damage. But we're about to knock on the doors of Ginyard, and Isengard are not going to like that. We could always try and rush the fords and take Isengard proper, but I think that's probably a bit ballsy. And Isengard gets like 6 garrison troops or something. It's difficult. But it's interesting to see that Khand are out. Khand are gone. I don't mean they've lost, but I mean they are no longer a part of the war with Mordor. They are focusing massively on the incredibly present and ever real threat of Rune, who are smashing them. Because Dorwinion are down to Winterinior only, and they will lose that if Rune actually wanted to take it. Dale are holding Rune back with the might of the dwarves as well, but Gundabad are doing quite well on the dwarves in the north. Although the dwarves have taken Dane's halls, which is interesting, and Gundabad bizarrely have Leovold. Anduin aren't complete. It's an absolute cluster bomb in the centre here with troops all over. Although Imladris is still alive, Zagkalar, Imladris and Kamath Bryn is a powerful and potent trio, so they should be doing all right. But in essence, this one is the north. Evil is absolutely dominating in the north, but Mordor is doing terribly. But if we can secure Gondor's borders, so if I can take Minas Morgul, and to be honest, ideally, if I could take Eastern Nosgiliath as well, then Gondor will no longer border Mordor, and they will then start shipping all their troops west. And if they can, I think Gondor will beat Isengard in a one-on-one. And particularly if Imrahil's army continues to pester Isengard and knocks back into Rohan to pick up mercenaries every now and then, which is just so good that we're able to do that. This has been such a fun episode. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. Oh, I've just turned on Toggle Perfect Spine. I've really enjoyed this. This has been a dream. I've said dream about 7 times today. But anyway, that's going to conclude for today. There'll be another Dol Amroth episode this week, and probably a third, because I don't think I'll do a faction lore video this weekend, because as we move closer to Christmas, my weekends are getting much, much busier, I'm afraid. I've got lots of plans coming up, and the faction lore videos, as I've moaned before, take about 4 or 5 hours, and I just can't devote that time to it. I could break it down and do it through the week, I suppose, but then I don't like doing things in parts. I never have done. Anyway, we'll worry about it later. But for now, and until we speak again, I do hope you are, each and every one of you as well, and you've enjoyed this episode as much as I have. And until we speak again, Navair Naden Perimad Melonin, and farewell.